I'm in the cab car of the VRE train with whoa, are those foamer shots? Yes, indeed. We're leaving Union Station going through the first Street Tunnel, but you may be asking, wait, you made a video on VRE. Why are you on VRE again? Well, I'm in DC for other reasons, and when in DC, do fun transit stuff. Well, welcome to Washington's weird metro oddity. The history of the DC Metro Yellow Line dates back to the late 1950s, when planning began for the DC Metro system as a whole. Highways and subways were both proposed to be constructed in the DC area, but opposition to highways led to a moratorium on highway construction until July of 1962. More proposals for a subway system in DC were published throughout the 1960s, but what would become the Yellow Line was not added until 1967, with a tunnel under 7th Street to serve parts of northern DC. In March of 1968, WMATA approved the ARS proposal, which included a yellow line from Franconia to Springfield north to Greenbelt. Construction soon started under U and 7th Streets in DC, but issues with construction postponed the projected opening until 1977. More issues with the alignment mired this section with construction delays, and the Yellow Line opened in April of 1983 as the short four-stop shuttle from Pentagon Station to Gallery Place, Chinatown. In December of 1983, it was extended southwards to Huntington, the first station outside of DC's capital beltway. In May of 1991, the section under 7th and U Streets finally opened, with Yellow Line trains being extended north from Gallery Place, Chinatown to U Street Station. In December of 1991, the Green Line was introduced, which took over service north of Mount Vernon Square, terminating Yellow Line trains there. The line remained much the same throughout the 1990s, with the theoretically temporary southern terminus of Huntington becoming permanent. In 2006, the Yellow Line was extended north to Fort Todd Station along a 1999 opened connecting segment of the Green Line. This proved successful, and the line was further extended in June of 2012. Special Rush Plus trains began running from Greenbelt, the northern terminus of the Green Line, to King Street Old Town, where they went on the Blue Line to terminate at Franconia Springfield. These trains were discontinued in 2017, but Yellow Line service was sent to Greenbelt full-time in 2019 after a closure to reconstruct platforms in Virginia. In May of 2023, the line was again truncated back to Mount Vernon Square, coinciding with the opening of Potomac Yard Station. However, starting in December of 2025, Yellow Line trains will be re-extended back to Greenbelt, making it no longer as much of a tiny oddity as it is today. So, before that happens, let's go ride the DC Metro's weird little oddball. And that was the Yellow Line I wanted to get. Damn it! Yeah, I saw it from the. Oh wait, that says. Two of the cars say blue. Maybe that's not. I don't know. I saw that from the VRE train, and it looks interesting. There appears to be a foot crossing here, which is odd. But yeah, this station also serves Amtrak trains going to Virginia, and the stupidly limited VRE service. And it also appears that they do not want you just walking across the tracks. So yeah, now I have to probably go out in the rain to get over to the metro, and then we can, start the actual content of this video. So see you up on the metro platform. That's the Vernon station. That, I think, is the Alexandria Town Hall, and that is the King Street Trolley. This station design, I could be wrong, but I think it's because there's a gap in the middle, so that if you're standing on King Street, you can see through to the town hall. And there's a northbound Yellow Line train. Meaning that if this is not ours, if this is not an old train, probably won't ride one. However, I do spy a VRE train. That's the 330 to Fredericksburg. So let's film that before we hop on our train down to Huntington. So here's a foamer shot sequence. Foamers are being truly delighted here. Alright, so this is a 7000 series train. These are the new trains. I like the old ones more. Unfortunately, I was stupid and I was being a foamer, and I missed both the old ones. There might be another old one at some point. But yeah, these trains, they're very like sterile. Also, the announcements are not great. But yeah, let's sit here at the end of the car. Let's be filmers, or let's film something cool, because this is a cool train line. Alright, sorry for the blurry window, it's rainy, sorry. But we're leaving Eisenhower Ave, and we're crossing over the Capitol Beltway. Now, three interesting things. One, this is really, really high up. I knew, but I didn't expect it to really feel like super high up, which is somewhat rare on the DC Metro. We are turning a lot right now. Whoa, tilty car. Anyway, the other thing is that Huntington was the first station to be built outside of the Capitol Beltway, and we're arriving there now. So, there are a couple other cool things at Huntington, and the last fun fact was that these two stations are the only two stations to be served solely by the Yellow Line. Fun facts galore. Alright, Huntington, we're here. Let's go be fun. We arrived at Huntington. So, a couple cool things about this station, which are all like related to the fact that it's built into the side of a hill. First off, if you ignore the absolutely massive Fairfax County seals, you'll see there's a ton of these tail tracks, and yet it's on a pretty high viaduct out there. So that's because it's built into a hill, of course. But the other cool thing is that this is quite steep. So there's an incline elevator here, the only one on the metro, and one of only a very few in the whole U.S. At train stations. It looks like it's going up now, so I'm gonna head up and then take it down. And then we're gonna miss that one, but we'll take the next Yellow Line train. This is also, if you are a DC Metro brutalist foamer, as I am, then wait until we get to the downtown station, because the outdoor stations are much less brutalism core. So I'm gonna walk up and then take that down, because yeah, that's the cool thing here. Alrighty, here we are in the incline elevator, which is very cool. But so as to not bore you, here is a time lapse to get down, which will be a very short time lapse. So fun. Alright, so after foaming the elevator at Huntington, I took the train up to Potomac Yard, and explored around there. The station is pretty good, and it's good that it serves a new area. The funny thing is that the Metroway, which is DC's like fake BRT service, doesn't actually deviate to serve the station. Like, it passes right by, and the station has busways, but said busways are only used by dash buses instead of by, you know, the like BRT service. Just another example of why Metroway is terrible. But other than that, the station is pretty good. It's got a very, very long footbridge that is sort of reminiscent of the Silver Line stations, although it's much nicer because it's over train tracks instead of a highway, and, I mean, who wants to be right over a 6-lane highway? So yeah, that was Potomac Yard, and then I hopped on an old train, Foamers Rejoice, and headed up into downtown DC, passing a bunch of cool things along the way. The first one being National Airport Station, which I refuse to call by its full name because Reagan bad, but it's probably one of the best rail-to-airport connections in the whole country, and then you dive into a tunnel under the more built-up parts of Arlington, past Pentagon Station, where you're not allowed to film. I'm not sure how well enforced that is, but I didn't want to get the army mad at me when they're led by the idiot who leads them now. And then I crossed over the Potomac River into downtown DC, which are these views now, and got off at L'Enfant Plaza, which is a great example of the DC Metro's incredible brutalism. So, brutalism foamers, enjoy. Welcome to L'Enfant Plaza. Oh my god, okay. This station is spelled like that because the guy that it's named after who designed DC was French. But it's apparently pronounced L'Enfant, or the VRE train say L'Enfant or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. However, the reason I'm walking down the platform is because it is, one could say, this is the coolest station on the DC Metro network. It is definitely up there, and that's because at this station, and Metro Center, and to an extent Gallery Place, the two tunnels of two lines intersect. At Gallery Place, it's mostly obscured. At Metro Center, it's always super busy. But here at L'Enfant, you can get these epic, and I mean epic, like across brutalism tunnel shots. It is also peak, or starting to be peak. So I'm glad I'm here and not over on the other side. Or not over at Metro Center. I'm gonna head down to the blue, orange, silver, and then up to the other side, film from that side. Alright, here's some more shots of L'Enfant Plaza. It's really cool. Highly recommend coming here if you're in DC. Try and not come here during peak like I did, so you don't, like, annoy people by trying to film across the, like, brutalist tunnels, but it's still very cool. After this, I went up to Archives Navy Memorial Penn Quarter and Gallery Place Chinatown to end at Mount Vernon Square, 7th Street Convention Center. All the station names are way too long, but, I mean, it is the DC Metro, kind of famous for having long names. But yeah, at Mount Vernon Square is where the yellow line ends and where this video ends. So thank you so much for watching this video on the DC Metro Yellow Line. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.